Hi, David. I'm registered in California and all set to go. You say to download the files and start farming the leads. I've been pulling my hair out on this. I would download the Excel screen pop-ups, but my list does not look like yours or another lady who tried to help me. I don't see any large surplus or add button to your screen. These are CSV files, and I did learn what they are and that you need Excel or Google Sheets to open them. I am chomping at the bit to get started, and I do not see what you see. What am I missing? I seem to be the only one with these issues. So yes, it makes me feel small. Please, any direction you could provide, I would be grateful. Or do you have a video on this? Shared screen instructions. So yeah, I do have a video, but I'm going to do a whole shared screen on this on getting started in California because it's been a while since I've done this and there's always changes and updates and everything else. So you are not the only one dealing with this. I love the message. Thank you for that. Guys, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and go over this, but if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go and subscribe and let's go and talk about this and look at this. Basically, the first thing I did is I just went to a search engine and put California Unclaimed State Funds, and you get a couple that come up. You want to get the one that says the sco.ca.gov because this is just something a little different. You just want to go with the one with California. Now, you need to get familiar with the California Investigators Handbook, and it gives owner and filing instructions and everything. It gives probate code, table of heirship, and I can go over a lot of this, but I could go over claims until the cows come home, and it still won't be enough information. I've dealt with personal property. I've dealt with heirs. I've dealt with a stepson that had no blood relation to the stepfather. And I've seen that in California where it went to the stepson. In Texas, it didn't go to the stepson. There are so many different rules and regulations. The bottom line is, and I'll go over a lot of these. I don't mind doing it. But the bottom line is you need to get familiar with the California Handbook. But her question was, so I'm going to click California Unclaimed Property. Her question was about getting started. So first of all, the way I found out about California unclaimed properties, I used to work just mortgage overages in the state of California. I had a guy who noticed that a claim had gone to the state of California and it was old enough for him to claim as an investigator. He registered for an investigator. He could not get a hold of this lady, but she lived 2 blocks. He called me. This is when we first opened up the company in like 2018. He called me. He went and door knocked on her door and said, "Hey, I'm your neighbor. You have this property. You have a overage for it. It went to the state. I'm a state funds locator." And he got 5,000. It was either 5 or 10,000 on his first deal. I forget now. This was years ago. It was one. So when I downloaded it, I had the same problem that Rebecca's having right here. I have a Mac, and as great as a Mac is, the one thing that they suck on is on numbers, and they need to get a better program like Excel. Excel kills it. So I had to have someone download Excel and show me how to put this up in Excel. So first of all, from here, if you go to investigators, you need to get familiar with the investigators handbook. And I know it's kind of boring, but here it is, investigators handbook and forms. You get familiar with this and just start reading it. The whole handbook, it's right here, and it'll give you it step by step on a guide. If you're looking up something, it's a good thing to be familiar with. Yes, it's boring. I have emailed California questions and they are pretty good about answering, but I know a lot of people have, and now they usually say go to the handbook and read the handbook. So it's good to just get a little familiar with this and what you're going to be working. Now let's go back to what she's asking. She's asking about the list. So Rebecca, you're going to have to get Excel. I mean, that's just, or like you said, Google Sheets, one of the two. I've not downloaded this on Google Sheets, but I'm assuming you can. I download on Excel, and I have the help of someone to be able to do this. Because when the guy who I was talking about a minute ago who had found this property, Mike was his name, and he was sharing this with me, I went in, I started looking, I said, boy, they're not above 3,000. And when you go to the list to download the list, you have to download the highest file, and then you want to open up file 3 of 3. And again, I had numbers, and numbers capped it off at 3,000 with the highest file when I found out there was hundreds of thousands of leads on there. So if I go to the next part, I would go to download property profiles, and I'm not going to click this because it's going to download this to my computer, but I would want to do properties reported 500 and up. And I would want to be able to download this into Excel. And you might have to go into Upwork or something like that. And you may have to just offer someone a few bucks to go ahead and download this file and get it to you. When you download it, and this is an older file, you get something that looks like this. And again, I was talking about the 3,000, but if you scroll down here, and this is one of the areas where I think California needs to work on, because like these 5,200 leads, you only get 500 bucks if you claim them. Everybody overlooks them. Do that for your first claim. Learn how to work a smaller claim, because then it'll get you success. Also look for people that you know on here. But then you start coming down, and I've done like $1,200 claims. I've done 2 or 3 of those a week where I'm bringing in 3,000, 5,000, 7,500 a week, and I keep on scrolling up into this as I do this. Let's go to this one right here. This one was turned into the state on on June 14th of 2018. What I like to do is when I'm talking to people, I like to have the spreadsheet up, but I also like to be able to jump in, and I didn't copy that. I just highlighted it. I don't think I actually copied it though. What I like to do is to be able to have the screen up. So that number that I had, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put that number in here, property numbers right here. This is what makes my calls so successful, so that when I'm talking, okay, and this name I'm going to kill, but I would say, let's just say it's Jasa. I would say, hi, Jasa, this is David Church calling you about the Bank of America account on 3400 Somerset Drive. This account has gone dormant. Do you remember having this account? Or if it was with the relative reverse, I would say the same thing. I would say the amount is $39,222. This goes to you. I'm not asking you for any money. This will cost you nothing out of pocket. Upon success, we will get 10% of the claim. Something to that degree, and you go over the script with her, and that helps. Then what I do is I would come up here. You could search this by address, by city, by any way you want to do this. This is a pretty distinctive name. This is the last name. What I might do is just do this name search and just search the name and see what other property they have. This is after I made the initial conversation, because there's times I'm with people on the phone and I wait till I get them on the phone and I'll say, I'm going to just check and see if you have any other property as I'm talking to you. And yeah, you do. You have another account at a different address that you used to live at 2201 West 30th Street. You have a Nebraska account there, state of Nebraska. Do you remember having that? And sometimes they say, you know what? No, that's somebody else. However, these are both Los Angeles. They're both very close to each other, and they both have a very distinctive name. I would guess that is the same individual. Now, this one's only going to pay me $24. I would just do it to get them paid. Like the guy I was telling you about on the stepson that had no blood relation. I found a $70 claim for him, and he said, I'll forget that one because it was so small. And I said, take your wife out to dinner. And he said, okay. So I put that one on. I got a check for $7. I mean, I have plenty of little checks. I get $5, $7. On this one, I would get a $3,922 check. It would be worth it going after that claim and seeing if I could get it. So I hope this helps. Your biggest thing is going to be downloading the spreadsheet. You're going to have to download it. You're going to have to learn how to download it in Excel. You might have to get some help doing that. And then as I'm talking to this person here, if they say to me, well, when did this get turned over to the state? I could say June 14th of 2018, it got turned over and it's been dormant. I'm licensed. I work alongside of the state. I never say I'm employed by the state. I never say I work with them. I have permission to go ahead and work accounts, and I go ahead and I do this, and I get people paid. With your approval, we could go ahead and move forward with this account. I get you the agreement, show what they look like, and then we schedule a notary. We'll pick up the notary. Do you live by a UPS store? Maybe I'll ping it. Like I see you have a UPS store right by you. I can get them the agreements, and you could sign right there. They'll come right back to me. They're signed in a public place, or I could send a notary out to you. We'll pick up the notary cost. We do need this information, and we'd like to see you move forward. That's how I do this, and that's how I move forward. And this is what I'm talking about, saturated market, because some people say, the market's saturated. You're going to have easy deals that are going to leave, but you daily have millions of dollars being put into unclaimed funds. You have over $100 billion estimated. And right here, I'm on the 288,037 lead here. I don't see there being a saturated market with California. I do think California is having a tough time paying out. I am having to babysit my leads a little bit more, but it is still a good market to go ahead and work. You just have to really be on top of it. Someone with me, like I run the company, I'm not working California as much just because it's taking too much time, and we're finding that we're not making as much money on it. I hope this helps, and I hope this helps answer your question. I hope this answers your question. I hope this helps you out. This is, again, getting started in California and some of the basic forms. And I have a lot of videos on getting started in California. Thanks for asking that question. I love these types of questions. I'm always here to help. I'll see you all around. Do me a favor, again, subscribe, give me a like if you like this video. I'll see you on the next one.